Hi, I'm Matt Foreman, and today we're going to talk about squatting for an Olympic weightlifter. There's a lot of conversation and a lot of training discussion that goes on in the sport between coaches and athletes about the most effective ways to use squats in a weightlifter's training program. Specifically, what we want to talk about today is the conversation you occasionally hear from weightlifters about the effectiveness of front squats versus back squats. Which one of those two movements is better? Which one of those two movements will provide more benefit and more effectiveness for an Olympic weightlifter? Front squats, back squats, which one works best? Now, it's important to understand that you'll hear different opinions about this from different people. I think what we want to look at today is the idea that there are kind of some extremely rare answers that you'll hear sometimes from very high level athletes. And then there are also the kind of much more widespread popular answers that you'll hear from just about everybody else. What I mean is this. There are a couple weightlifters I can think of right off the top of my head who are extremely successful and have had a lot of high accomplishment in the sport, who have openly said that they basically use front squatting only in their training, that they don't do back squats. The two biggest names I can think of that I've heard this from are Naim Suleimanoglu, former three-time Olympic gold medalist from Turkey. I read interviews with Naim when he was at the height of his career, and he openly said that during the peak years of his career, not the beginning, formative years, but during his big years, he was basically doing only front squats. Another example of that, kind of a more current one, is CJ Cummings. CJ Cummings, American weightlifter, two-time youth and junior world champion, one of the best lifters in the world in his age group and in his body weight class. I've read some things about Cummings' training, and he also has said that he only uses front squats in training. Apparently, when he started weightlifting, and if my memory is correct, he had some problems with back squats, some physical issues. He didn't like the way they made his body feel, caused some pain. So he basically only uses front squats now. And this is a kid who is, breaking records left and right, specifically in the clean and jerk. When you hear answers like this from high-level athletes, it's very easy to think that that's the way to go. If you're a weightlifter, do what Naim Suleimanoglu does. If you want to be great, do what CJ Cummings does, because they're great weightlifters. And that's a legitimate idea. However, if you want to be a successful weightlifter, probably what you should listen to is kind of those vast majority type of answers that you'll hear from the wide majority of successful weightlifters in the sport. And most of the people in this sport who have success are going to use front squats and back squats evenly. They're going to use them equally in training. They're both important. They're both necessary. They both provide specific benefit to an athlete, and you need to use them both. Sometimes it can be dangerous if you're a coach or an athlete to listen to those one great isolated example type athletes and believe that what works for them is going to work best for everybody. If you want to know what's going to work best for you, you should look at what works best for most everybody, at least most everybody who competes and has success at a high level. And in the case of this squatting discussion, using both front squats and back squats evenly in training is going to be the thing that gives you the most success and the most benefit. So, plenty more to talk about with this. We'll definitely come back to squatting several times in our future weightlifting lessons. But for now, the whole idea of front squat versus back squat, you'll hear different answers. You'll hear some strange answers sometimes from high-level athletes, but base your training on what works best for the most high performers. And in this case, using front squat and back squat evenly is the answer you're going to get. Thank you.